down. A-Rod didn't go to the Red Sox because the Yankees could offer him more money, and that's why he ended up in New York. So in basketball, these guys control, like you said, they can. They have the power, and the league is kind of in a tough position. They added that extra year, thinking the player would stay with the team, get the most money, but the players have found like kind of a loop in that system where they don't need to take the max dollar to stay in the, with the team that holds their bird right. So, the league is kind of in a tough position. They got to put something in to encourage players to stay, and most of the players aren't staying. And then some of them, like Paul George, his 4-year deal, he's betting on himself. He can opt out in 2 years. And the way he's played this year, and if he does similar next year, he's going to make a hell of a lot of more money than if he would have signed a straight 4-year deal. So the league tried to put some parameters in place, but it's kind of coming back to bite them with the players, having control, and then wanting to have the flexibility of, determining where they want to go, and then the pressure for these guys to have so-called legacies, the whole everything that from podcasters to mainstream media that says, oh, Ben doesn't have a championship. Well, ABM has a championship. H-Rap got 2. And the push to say you may be the better player overall, but you don't have the rings, rather than take the totality of numbers, the eye test. If you win championships, if you want to say, hey, this guy's a great player because he helped others win and achieve at a high level, I think that's causing a lot of player movement too, because they don't want to get labeled, like Patrick Ewing, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, where, they hear Shaq say it all the time, well, Charles, you ain't got no ring. You can't even talk about what it takes to win a championship. So I think that pushes these guys to move too. Plus, they just want to live other places sometimes, So, the league is just in a tough position. I'm sure in the collective bargaining agreement, the next one they'll try to come up with something, but I think that's out the bag now. They can't get that back in, so. New Orleans is in trouble, man. And they got a really good player in Drew Holiday. What's his face has played well, Randall.
Julius Randall. Yeah. We forget about Randall even being on that team.
Pretty well for him.
Yeah.
But I think it's gotten away from him, and we'll see it, We'll see guys move. The funny thing is, we talked, A-Trap made a good point. There are truly small markets, but with the revenue sharing, that's why Jordan got all that money. My typo was that MJ bought the Hornets for like $250 million from Bob Johnson, but it was mostly he took on debt. Mike had a great deal that the NBA probably wouldn't give today. LeBron and those guys that want to buy teams one day, $30 million. Mike saw he put up of his own money in cash. Now they're worth 1.2 because the Charlotte Hornets and every other team, that so-called small market, they get money from every other team in the league. So they're making money hand over fist. But like A-Trap says all the time, some of these teams really don't try to win. Sometimes they can't get the right players. They make the wrong personnel decisions with contracts. Take on a guy like Nicholas Batum, and he doesn't keep ascending from the level he was at in Portland. So it makes it tough. But you look at 3 of the biggest markets. You got L.A. Okay, they got LeBron, but they're struggling. But they've had a lot of injuries. Chicago sucks, as A-Trap tells me all the time when I comment about. We talk about basketball. And the New York Knicks team. Jungle says today they're tanking. They're not losing. They're tanking. They're losing, Jungle. They're not very good.
Yeah. Bad
management. Phil Jackson put them in a rut. So the big market teams aren't really, winning. OKC has done a good job rebounding from losing KD, but it's all about management. You got to get lucky with your picks. Players got to develop. But it all comes down to management, man, because all those teams are making money. It's just management. Coaching, player development. When you take these guys young, like Zion, if he has a work ethic, and I love the kid, I love his demeanor, I just don't know what he's going to be because there's so many guys that you miss on. I think you remember Rodney Rogers at Wake Forest?
Yeah, I do remember him.
He reminds me of him, much better, but he reminds me of Rodney Rogers, that kind of body. I think Rodney probably shot it better outside than Zion at the same point, like a natural jump shot. But he reminds me of a next generation Rodney Rogers. I think he'll be better. But I like the kid. I like his demeanor. He doesn't get frustrated. People try different stuff with him, be physical, get in front of him, flops. I love his game, but it's hard to project because you never know what system he's going to go into. You don't know what's in his chest work ethic. It looks like it from what he's done so far. But you got to have player development. These guys are young and unpolished, and they're going into a grown man world. So it's about these teams having player development and stuff set up. KG had Sam Mitchell. He had Kevin McHale. He had a great system in Minnesota, and he had his own work ethic. KG's on the crazy side along with Russell Westbrook in their work ethic and mentality. But he also had a great system set up, and I think that's where a lot of these NBA teams fail with these young guys they're taking, a year out of college, just because they take them and they don't put the resources. If you're going to take something that valuable, you got to put the resources into it around them, besides just the 82-game season and training camp.
Right, too. You got to invest in, I think, in their whole package, like their mindset, their skills, being partnered up with a player that's been in the league for a minute. It's more than just we're drafting you, get on the court and play, and that's it. There's a lot more to it. So you're definitely right about that.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, it's about putting the resources in there. They're a big investment you're making, so you got to groom that and put all the resources in it from the training. Like a veteran, if me and you are veterans on the team, it may be worth us having a roster spot at the 12. You can have 15, dress 12. It may be worth having both of us on there like the Miami Heat do with a Udonis Haslem. Udonis Haslem could have easily been out of the Heat's rotation, and he is out of rotation, but off their roster 3 or 4 years ago, but they kept him because he's a leader of men and young men, and he knows his role, so he's going to do all the stuff in practice, do all the little stuff, be a pro. Take that rook and those young guys under your wing and kind of groom them on NBA life, how to get your rest. Don't sit up playing video games. We got a 7 o'clock game tonight. You go to shoot around, get you some lunch or something, and then take your nap so you're rested and ready to play. So it's all that little kind of stuff that, often we don't talk about when we're breaking down games and shows and different stuff, but that's really important, man. That plays a point in college too. When you go to college basketball, totally different than high school, but you got to have those type of players, even if they never see the court. They're valuable to a team and the young players' development at either level. Right,
true. Man, ABM, man, your content.
I got a question for you. Let me get you one question. I'm gonna get out of here. Are you feeling any better about your offensive coordinator as you get closer to mini camp date and stuff like that? Not trolling.
No.
Because the reason I asked you, because I've heard everywhere, not everywhere, on Undisputed, because that's usually what I watch a couple days a week when I work from home. But Skip Bayless and who else? Somebody I just saw that's a Cowboy was, I don't know if it was Jason Witten. Maybe it's Jason Witten. But I know Skip Bayless is extremely high on Kellen Moore. And I'm like, man, either this dude is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, or they're all out their mind.
Yeah, I don't feel any better because he's coming out of nowhere. He was the quarterback coach because Dak said, this is the story, that Dak said he think he would be a good guy. I just think they're boosting him up. I don't have any more confidence. Now, if somehow, some way this dude is like a boy wonder and some type of genius, I'll be happy with it, but I don't believe in it 100%. And he had, you had an opportunity with the Pro Bowl with all of these star players, and you put up 7 points. That was his offense. That wasn't Jason Garrett's offense. That was his offense. So that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. But I think they're just gassing them up.
Defensive schemes that have to be very limited by the rules in Pro Bowl too. So
yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. It's going to be great. The first and third Mondays of the month, right?
Yep. From 8 to 10, we got the greatest coming up here in a couple minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing this. Gonna leave the phone lines pretty much open the majority of the show, probably the second hour. But yeah, man, this is what I love doing. So I'm gonna do it. However,
great show, man. I love it, man. We did the one Western Conference, man. That was great because I just listened to that game on the road coming back, and a couple times I almost drove off of 75 coming back south with the foolishness of Houston, and you had a great show to break it down. Chat room was on fire, so was the call line. And it wasn't because I was anti-Golden State. I'm anti-bad basketball, and I just was hard to hear Houston do that. So, man, I appreciate that show. So I'll be love your afternoon, these shows, but I know you be trying to get back to work, and I always joke, give them an extra lunch hour. So it's going to be nice to get that 2 hours, man. So definitely appreciate your support, man. I love the show, man. So keep doing your thing, man. And you're still selling the shirts, right?
Oh yeah. Still going.
All right, I'm gonna probably send you something this week. I want to get 2 more.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
All right, brother, man. Thanks for the show. I'll hang up and listen to the end of it, man.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you.
All right, peace, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, my man ABM, Angry Black, man, he shows support. Man, he shows support. And I'm going to show support to him because his shows are fire as well. So we got 3 minutes left. So the call line, I will have to eliminate the call line for tonight's show. But I will be back, like I said, first and third Mondays. I'll be promoting it, so just follow me on social media if you're not already. If you listen to X Squad, when you get that alert, it is me. It is not a joke. This is not a test. You are hearing my voice. So I will be back on the 4th as far as this particular show, the weekend wrap-up evening. Next Monday I'll be on at the regular time, 12 Central Standard Time. Tomorrow, Dope Music Podcast. I'm uploading some songs right now. So tune in. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Real quick, I want to share something. A-Trap B, to the point of the NBA doing the Africa. I love underdogs. I love guys that don't, to us, listen to this, to us don't have a name because we don't know who they are. So to give guys opportunities, to me, is amazing. At some point, any way, shape, or form, to give these guys a shot, to give these guys opportunity. Also, be on the lookout for a Major League Baseball strike. The reason why we haven't seen Machado and Harper sign is because they don't think the deals are right. There's numerous players talking about this. They don't agree with the situation that they have going on with their player situation, with their agreement. Kev says stop watching Skip Bayless. Shannon is on Kaepernick today, was classic. Shannon Sharp keeps delivering the info, for sure. Also, Bruce Bochy will be retiring. Bruce Bochy will be retiring from the Giants. 3 championships. 2010, 12, and 14. 2 years apart. The Giants were just like that team that continuously were getting championships every 2 years. So, I want to thank every single person for tuning in. I want to thank every single person for calling in. You guys have a good rest of your night. Next up on the network, The Greatest with the slow jams. The Greatest continues to drop classic shows, so make sure to stay tuned. I'll be on tomorrow, 12 Central Time, Dope Music Podcast. Have a good night. Peace. God bless. God is love. Peace.